Hey there, I'm Jamie Smith, CF Pro Tools, and I want to run through a quick demonstration of how to use the CF Show Only product add-on from CF Pro Tools VIP Club. And so what we want to use this add-on for, this is works great if you want to do split testing. It also works well if you had created a product in the past that you no longer want to sell on your order form, but you have other products and you're using on that same order form, and you don't have to go back through and recreate everything. This can actually hide that product for you, so that you only show those products that you have on the list. Maybe you have an older product at a different price point or something like that that you just want to keep it hidden, and so it's going to allow you to set and say only show this list of products on my order form. Normally what you'd have to do is go in and basically recreate your order form, recreate your products, and do a bunch of work. So this can save you some time in that scenario. Or if you want to split test, and this is really where it gets powerful, you can actually split test product prices. So you could basically create a duplicate of your product, multiple price points, and then you create a split test variation page, and on one page show only one product, and on the other page show the opposite product. So I'm going to run through and show you how to do that real quick, how to install this, and we'll use it with the split test scenario, and that will make a little more sense for you. And then you can certainly do the same thing if you just wanted to hide a specific product or really only show certain products on your order form, in case you had wanted to remove one but you didn't want to actually have to delete the product, which can cause some other problems, and you didn't want to have to recreate your order form. So let's run through. I've got an order form here created that you can see on my screen, and in this one I've got some products set up. And so I'll just, we've got two different products. They're both named the same, Core Product 1 Test, Core Product 1 Test. The reason for that is I want to split test the pricing. You'll notice one's priced at $27, one's priced at $37. I have the same thing, these two here, Split Test Product 1 and Split Test Product 1, 47 and 67, these are actually set as bump products. You wouldn't want to use this for your bumps, but if you wanted to split test the product prices on a bump, you can actually use the CF Multiple Bump add-on to be able to set which product ID is associated with your bump product or your bump offer, and you can do the same thing. Basically create split test variation pages, and on one page you insert a multiple bump and you attach it to a specific product ID. On the other page you do the same thing with a different product ID. So this works for bump products as well, but that is on the CF Multiple Bump add-on. You can use that to do split testing on bump prices. So we're going to show you how to do this with the CF Show Only product add-on. So we got these prices here. And what I need to do is basically what I want to do is set which of these products do I want to show on which page. So the first thing we need to do is grab our actual product ID. So I'm going to actually copy the link address for here. I right click on the edit link and I copy the link address, and I'm going to open a new tab, and then I'm just going to paste in the URL here. And after my products slash, so it's going to be something like app.clickfunnels.com/products/ there's a number. I'm going to grab that number. It's the number that comes directly after the products slash. So I'm going to grab that number, and I need to put that into my code. So I'm going to drag my code over here onto this screen. And so here we've got the code for the add-on, and you'll notice here we have this show prods equals, and then we've got square brackets and then a quoted number in the middle. You'll notice it's my product ID number that I just had. I went ahead and installed this in advance, but you can actually put multiple products in here if you just in between the square brackets. This square brackets just means this takes an array of product IDs, a list of product IDs, comma separated. So we could put another comma, and then I'm just going to paste in that number. It's the same number, but you get the idea here, and you can do this as many times as you want to. And you would put a different product ID, it'd be 2 and 3 there, and that would show just those 3 products on your order form. The other thing to keep in mind is it's noted here, you can be as many as you want or just one. But the first item in this list will be selected by default. So whatever product ID you put first in this list, that is the one when the order form shows on the page, that is the one that's going to be selected by default. Normally, ClickFunnels will select the first product in your product selector by default, but the problem that comes up is if that first product in your product selector is actually hidden, it will still select that product. We don't want that to happen. We want this to actually select that first. We want it to select whatever product we set first in the item here. And so, so that's going to work there. So it's going to basically select that, whatever item you have listed as first, it's going to select that in the product selector. So right now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these two because I only need the one because we are doing a split test. And then I'm going to bounce back in. We're going to close out this tab. And then I'm going to go into my actual edit my page here. So I'm going to click on Overview. And then I'm going to click on Edit Page. And then what we want to do is just a couple of things. Right off the bat, you'll notice that I don't have an actual order selector. That's because I have it hidden temporarily. And I'll show you why here in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and unhide that. So now we can see we've got a product selector. I've got my code. I just copied my code from my add-on. It's got my product ID on it. I'm going to go ahead and go into tracking code. I'm going to footer code, and you can see I've just got this code pasted in there. So we'll go ahead and wipe this out to start fresh. And so we basically come into a clean page. We're going to go into tracking code, settings, tracking code, and then footer code, just like every other CF Pro Tools add-on that we've got in the library. Always goes into settings, tracking code, footer code. And then we just paste that in. And that's all there is to that. And then there's just one other piece to make this work. And we want to go to our actual product selector. And we want to go to settings. And then we want to go to get CSS info, which is the little hashtag icon. And then we want to go to the title, and we want to set this to CF-show-only. And that is what the add-on is going to use to determine which product selector we're working on here, and it knows that, hey, you need to do something with this. So this is how we tell the add-on to go ahead and do some work. So go ahead and click Update there. Now, if you're using a two-step order form, you don't need to do this. There's nothing special that you need to do there. You just need to go in and actually just set that. So again, we've got our code here. And this will actually check, and it will say it's actually going to go through. Sorry about that, back now. So what it's going to do, we've got our code here. It's going to go through and it's going to look for either a regular product selector, or it's going to look for a two-step product selector, and it's going to go ahead and hide and show the appropriate products based on that. So this works for two steps as well. And the process is the same as far as inserting the code. You just don't need to do anything special with the product selector on two-step because you don't have access directly to that. One other thing that we want to do here is, if you're using a one-step order form like we have here, is we don't want this to show right away, because what will happen is, if this is at the top of the page, when somebody previews the page, in fact, we'll just go ahead and pull this up and I'll show you what this looks like real quick. If we go ahead and do a preview of the page now, you could probably see this quickly. Actually, it's been loaded before, so we didn't see that. But what will happen is that this may load, and when it loads, you may see all of the products in the list, including the one that you want hidden, and then you'll see that one go away. So you don't want your customers to see that. You want it to look like, you want to have all the product adjustments made before the actual order form is shown. So what I like to do is I actually go in and I set this to hidden. So we'll go ahead and hide this, and then we do a save. And then the add-on knows to look for that. Any product selector that has the name CF-show-only in it, it will automatically show once the page is loaded and all the products have been removed that don't need to be shown. So now if we take a look at this and we go in and we do a preview, it's going to show up pretty quick, but you'll notice that it took just a little second there, and then it did all the work, removed the product, and then it did a show of the product selector. That just keeps you from having that weird little flash for customers that don't already have the page cached. It may take a second or two for it to load. We don't want them to be seeing all the products and then all of a sudden one of them goes away. So we want to go ahead and set that as hidden. You won't see it in your editor, but if you need to get to it, you just go back to Elements and you go to Manage, and then you'll see that CF-show-only. That is our product selector. So that's where that title gets shown, is right there. So you'll know that is your product selector, and you just click the little eye icon and it will bring it back. And then when you hide it again, you just put it right there and set it as hidden, and away we go. So that's how we set this up. That's pretty easy. So here's the next thing that we want to do. We actually want to create a page variation. So you want to split test with this. And so this is how we do that. For the split test, we actually want to show the other product, right? So here we've got our $27 product on this page. We want to grab our $37 product. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab our product ID by going to copy link address. Open a new tab. This is just an easy way to grab that product ID. We're going to go ahead and grab that product ID. And then I'm going to go ahead and get back to my code. And now I'm going to go ahead and swap out that product ID. Exact same setup. I'm just replacing and setting just the product ID I want. I'm going to go ahead and grab all of my code. I'm going to go ahead and go back into my overview here. And now I'm going to create a variation. And I'm going to use that I want to use the exact same order form. I don't want anything to be different on this page except for the product price. When you're doing split testing, you want to limit what it is you're testing against each other. Unless you're just doing a very first rough draft split test, and then you might have two drastically different variations to see which one converts the best, and then start from there. But if you've already tested out your order form and your sales page and everything else, and everything is converting pretty well, and you just want to convert, you just want to test which price point works better, then just make it just the price. Don't test a bunch of headlines against each other, and don't do that. Just make an exact duplicate of your order form and just change out which product is shown, so you can split test just on price. And then once you determine which price is best, then you can go and split test other things. But don't try and split test too many things at once. So we're going to create a duplicate page from order form. It's going to create an exact copy of what we already have. In fact, the custom code will even be there. So the code for our add-on will already be there. All we really need to do is just swap in the product ID. But we've already got our code. You'll notice our product selector is already hidden. The CF show only is going to already be there. All that stuff is already done. All we need to go do is go into our tracking code and our footer code, and we've got our code already installed. But we're just going to grab all of it. We're going to paste this in its place, and you'll see that our product ID is now this 1536052. So that is our second product. And that's all that we want to do. That's all there is to it. We're just swapping out that product ID is really all we're doing. And so we're going to go ahead and click Save there. And now if I do a preview on this one, we'll get our $37 product. So that's the only difference on this order form. We've got a $27 product, $37 product. Drive traffic to that. And when you drive traffic to this, you'll want to drive traffic to this. Here, let me refresh this so that we get both variations. And we want to make sure and drag this to 50%. You could do less, but 50-50 is a pretty good start, so you can get some numbers. So we've got a 50% traffic, and then you want to drive traffic to this URL. Make sure that it's this one. Don't go and visit the page and then try and one of these individual pages and grab that URL, because this URL is what's going to say, hey, it's your deciding factor. It's going to split the traffic for you. So if you drive traffic, if you go to visit one of these pages, you grab its URL and send your ads to that, then you're going to be driving directly to one of the pages. You want to grab this what we call our funnel step URL. That's what you want to send your ads to. Send your ads to that, or your traffic to that, your Facebook post, whatever. That's what you want to link to. And then the traffic that comes in is going to be split evenly with this traffic. And then you'll be able to see in your stats, when orders are placed, which one gets more orders, the 27 or the 37. You can see which one converts better on your stats page. So that's how you can use the CF show only product add-on to do split testing on prices. So hopefully that makes sense. And then also you probably could figure out on your own that you could use this this list. You can put if you want, say you had 4 products and you only want to show 3 of them, just put the 3 products you want to show in the list here, and it will automatically hide the one that you don't want to show. And that's how you would use it to get rid of a product that you don't want to have on your order form anymore. So that's all there is to that. I hope that all makes sense, and I'll talk to you again real soon.